For 2 centuries, the Galactic Concord had ruled the stars with quiet confidence. Thousands of species, billions of ships, and countless worlds were woven into its complex web of peace through diplomacy, technology, and, when needed, overwhelming military power. The Concord fleet was a masterpiece of cooperation, a symbol of civilization's triumph over barbarism. And within this grand alliance, one small planet had always seemed ordinary: Earth. Humanity had joined the Concord less than 50 years ago, a relatively young species with a short history of spaceflight but an uncanny knack for innovation. They were clever, adaptable, and strange. Too emotional, too unpredictable, too human. But the Concord tolerated them. Humans made good engineers and great mercenaries. Yet their military, their fleets, their so-called Earth Defense Command, were laughable by galactic standards. At least that's what everyone thought. Then came the Vraxan invasion. The Vraxan Dominion was not like the Concord. They were ancient predators, nomads of destruction who respected only power. When their fleets emerged from the Void Rift, nearly 10,000 warships strong, the galaxy trembled. Concord fleets fell back, station after station burned, and border systems turned to dust under the Vraxan's planet-cracking beams. The Concord Council convened emergency meetings, desperate for reinforcements. Earth was never invited. After all, what could humans possibly contribute to a war of such scale? Admiral Kareth of the Thalian Navy sat in silence aboard his flagship, the Dawn of Harmony, watching the star map fill with red indicators. The Vraxan fleet was advancing toward the Perseus Gate, the Concord's most vital trade route. If it fell, half the galaxy's supply lines would collapse. "We've lost contact with the Or-10 flotilla," his aide reported. "No survivors detected. The enemy's using gravitic warheads now." Kareth exhaled slowly, his mind weary. "Where are the human ships stationed?" "Sector 3, sir. They were ordered to hold defensive positions around Sol." A token gesture. Kareth grimaced. "Let them stay there. They're not trained for—" "Admiral," interrupted a comms officer, eyes wide. "We're receiving an open transmission from Sector 3. Priority Level 1. Kareth frowned. "From whom?" The officer hesitated. "From Earth Command, sir." The hologram flickered to life in the council chamber aboard Dawn of Harmony. A human admiral appeared, lean, gray-haired. His uniform unmarked by medals or banners. Only his sharp gaze and calm posture hinted at something deeper. "This is Admiral Marcus Hale of the Terran Defense Command," the hologram said. "To all Concord forces, we are aware of the Vraxan advance. Earth requests unrestricted operation clearance." The council erupted into chaos. Voices overlapped. Protests, disbelief, laughter. "Unrestricted clearance. Absurd," hissed an Avathan senator. "You can't even field a proper battlecruiser. What could you possibly deploy?" scoffed a XWH diplomat. "A few corvettes. Mining tugs." But Hale's expression didn't change. "You'll see soon enough. Just keep your fleets clear of the Sol exclusion zone for the next 20 hours. That's all we ask." Then the transmission ended. Hours later, deep within the solar system, the quiet hum of old shipyards filled the void. Most believed Earth's orbital facilities were remnants of their colonial ambitions. Small, unassuming docks floating between Mars and Jupiter. But if one looked closer, patterns emerged. Massive structures buried within the shadow of Neptune. Hidden energy signatures pulsing beneath the ice moons. A fleet that wasn't listed on any Concord registry. Inside a sealed command chamber beneath the Atlantic Ocean, Admiral Hale stood before a wall of holographic displays. Engineers, officers, and artificial intelligence constructs worked in perfect synchrony. Status on Ark-class vessel. Hale asked. Power cores are stable, replied Commander Lin, his second-in-command. Primary fusion drives are primed. Quantum cloak disengaged. We're green across all systems. Hale nodded. Then it's time. He turned toward the central terminal and placed his hand on the biometric panel. The system scanned, then confirmed identity. Admiral Marcus Hale, Command Authorization Alpha 1. Reactivate the Erebus. Deep in Neptune's orbit, reality itself seemed to distort. The dark expanse shimmered as if space were folding back upon itself. Slowly, impossibly, something emerged. A shadow the size of a continent. The Erebus, humanity's hidden supercarrier. 200 kilometers long, layered with adaptive armor that shimmered like living metal. Its hull bore no markings, no insignia, only silent menace. Energy fields rippled across its surface as thousands of launch bays opened like the eyes of a waking titan. Within those bays rested fighters unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. Sleek, angular, equipped with quantum drive wings that glowed a faint blue. Fleet Command confirms visual, Lin said quietly. Concord scanners are losing their minds. They can't even classify the readings. Hale smiled faintly. Good. Let's keep it that way. The Erebus had been Earth's secret for over a century. The culmination of every lesson learned from observing galactic warfare. While the Concord debated peace treaties, humanity prepared for survival. Every nation, every hidden orbital factory, every scrap of material from asteroid mining, all had contributed to this one vessel. Its existence had been erased from official records. Even the Concord AI archives showed nothing but blank data where its name should have been. Now, as the Vraxan fleet broke through the Perseus gate, humanity's silence ended. Admiral Kareth, the comms officer stammered. I'm getting a new mass signature from Sol Sector. It's enormous, sir. No match in any database. Show me. On the holomap, a single blue marker appeared. Then another. Then hundreds. A formation was moving at impossible speed. Crossing light minutes and seconds. Identify. Kareth barked. Unknown drive technology, sir. They're moving through folded space. Then the feed changed. A live transmission appeared across every Concord channel, a human face illuminated by soft blue light. Admiral Hale. To all Concord fleets, this is Earth Command. The Vraxan advance will be stopped at Perseus. All Allied ships are ordered to withdraw to safe distance immediately. Kareth blinked. Withdraw. That's suicide. You'll be slaughtered. But Hale's eyes burned with quiet certainty. Not this time. The transmission ended. Moments later, the stars themselves seemed to ignite. Out of the dark came a wall of ships, hundreds of Terran vessels, each bristling with angular plating and strange thruster geometries. But at their center, dwarfing them all, was the Erebus. Its engines glowed like the heart of a newborn star. Kareth watched in disbelief. By the stars. What are they doing? Sir, whispered his aide. Their main weapon systems are charging. Graviton levels off the scale. Then the Erebus fired. A single beam, wide as a moon's orbit, tore through the void. Space folded and screamed. The first line of the Vraxan fleet disintegrated. Not destroyed but erased. Their ships didn't explode. They ceased to exist, atoms scattered into quantum dust. The remaining Vraxan vessels broke formation, scrambling to retreat, but humanity's fleet moved with terrifying precision. Drone swarms darkened the stars, rail cannons launched projectiles faster than light, and the Erebus unleashed wave after wave of energy pulses that defied physics itself. "Impossible," Kareth whispered. "That power. No species has ever." "They've been hiding this," murmured his aide, stunned. "All this time. The humans were hiding it." Inside the Erebus, Admiral Hale stood calmly as the holographic projection of the battlefield unfolded before him. "Status. Vraxan fleet reduced by 72%, Commander Lin replied. "They're attempting to retreat into the rift. Pursue. They don't get to leave." Lin hesitated. "Sir, the Concord Council is demanding we stand down. They claim this level of firepower violates every treaty." Hale's expression hardened. "Tell them treaties don't stop extinction. Tell them humanity remembers what it's like to be ignored while others die." As he spoke, the Erebus's core pulsed brighter, channeling energy into its warp array. Humanity's hidden supercarrier, a ghost born of secrecy and desperation, had finally revealed itself to the galaxy. And in that moment, every world, every admiral, every observer across the stars understood a simple truth. Earth had never been weak. It had merely been patient. The Vraxan fleet scattered like insects fleeing fire, but there was nowhere left to hide. The Erebus moved through folded space with a grace that made even seasoned admirals tremble. Every time it reappeared, another Vraxan warship was gone, silenced in a flash of white light that left behind nothing but silence. Across the Concord's networks, every observer watched in awe. Dozens of species who had long considered humanity primitive now whispered in disbelief. How long had they been building this? How many secrets lay buried under Earth's oceans and moons? Admiral Hale stood on the bridge, the blue glow of tactical displays painting his face like a ghost from old myths. Around him, his crew worked with quiet precision, human and synthetic minds united. "Status on enemy command vessel," he asked. Commander Lin answered immediately. "The Vraxan Imperator is retreating behind the rift's gravity shell. They're powering their dimensional cannons." "Just as expected," Hale said softly. "Bring us in." The Erebus surged forward, reality bending around its hull. It passed through the rift's edge as if stepping between worlds. Ahead, the Vraxan flagship loomed, a monstrous construct of living metal and molten energy, kilometers wide, surrounded by writhing tendrils of plasma. The Vraxan Overlord appeared on the comm feed, a towering creature of obsidian scales and burning red eyes. "Human," it hissed, its voice echoing like thunder. "You dare trespass in our dominion. You wield stolen power. You are insects playing with God's fire." Hale's eyes were cold steel. "No. We learned from gods who thought we were insects." The Overlord bared its fangs. "Then die with your arrogance." The Imperator fired first. A wave of antimatter energy surged across space, distorting light, ripping through dimensions. Any other vessel would have been torn apart. But the Erebus shifted, not away but through. The beam passed harmlessly through its shimmering form, scattering like mist through sunlight. The crew held their breath. Lin whispered, "Cloak phase harmonics stable. Quantum veil intact." "Good," Hale replied. "Now end it." The Erebus's main cannon recharged, its energy core pulsing like the heartbeat of a star. Every generator across the solar defense network, from the moon bases to the hidden reactors beneath Mars, poured their power into the carrier through a web of quantum entanglement links. This was Earth's final contingency, its last resort, never meant to be seen by outsiders. Project Prometheus. "Target locked," Lin said quietly. Fire. Light consumed the rift. For a heartbeat, it seemed the universe itself had gone blind. The beam that erupted from the Erebus didn't just destroy, it rewrote reality. The Vraxan flagship disintegrated in an expanding wave of particles, its monstrous hull turning to ash before the Overlord's final scream echoed through the void. When the light faded, nothing remained of the Dominion's vanguard. The rift itself began to collapse, sealed by the residual energy of the Erebus's weapon. Commander Lin let out a shaky breath. Enemy fleet destroyed. Dimensional distortion stabilizing. Sir. We did it. The bridge fell silent. Then a soft cheer rippled through the crew, growing louder until it filled the room. Engineers, pilots, and officers, people who had once been dismissed as backwater dreamers, now watched their victory unfold across the stars. Hale, however, didn't smile. "Send a message to the Concord Council," he ordered quietly. "Tell them Earth is secure. The Vraxan threat has ended." "Yes, Admiral," Lin replied. "And what do we tell them about the Erebus?" Hale gazed at the hologram of the colossal ship outside, its hull scarred but still gleaming with quiet power. "Tell them nothing. The Erebus will return to the dark." 3 days later, in the heart of the Concord capital, ambassadors from hundreds of species gathered in disbelief. The Vraxan invasion had ended overnight. Entire fleets that had resisted for decades were gone, erased by a single Terran vessel. The Council's supreme speaker, a crystalline being of the Shorian race, finally spoke. "You humans. You possessed such a weapon all this time." The Terran representative, a calm woman named Ambassador Rhea Clark, simply replied, "Earth doesn't seek conquest. We seek peace. But peace doesn't last if others think we're helpless." The chamber fell silent. Some called it a threat. Others called it wisdom. But one truth echoed through the entire galaxy. Humanity was no longer to be underestimated. Back aboard the Erebus, hidden once more within the shadows of Neptune, Admiral Hale stood alone in the command bay. Through the viewport, he could see the soft blue glow of Earth far in the distance. Small, fragile, beautiful. Commander Lin approached quietly. "The Council is requesting to inspect our systems. They want to ensure compliance." Hale gave a small, tired smile. "Let them inspect what they can find. The Erebus doesn't exist on their maps. It never did." Lin hesitated. "Do you think they'll fear us now?" "They'll fear what they don't understand," Hale said, turning toward the stars. "But maybe that's not such a bad thing. Maybe it'll make them think twice before deciding who's weak." He watched the vastness of space, the endless sea of light beyond. Humanity had once looked up at the night sky and wondered if it was alone. Now the galaxy looked back at Earth and wondered if it had just glimpsed the birth of something greater. The Erebus's engines dimmed, its hull fading back into invisibility. It slipped quietly into folded space, vanishing like a dream. No fanfare, no declaration. Just silence, the kind of silence that left the galaxy speechless. And somewhere, deep in that silence, the humans of Earth began their next project. Because while the stars now knew their strength, only humanity knew the truth. The Erebus was not the first. It was the prototype,